Hey everybody, Phil here with AmericanKiteboarding.com. I've had a bunch of questions from our YouTube subscribers about where to place your feet or stance on a hydrofoil board. I've had some questions about riding tips as far as placement of your feet and how to ride. So we're going to address a couple of those today, both strapped and unstrapped boards. So I have the Slingshot Alien Air, I have the Liquid Force Rocket Fish, the Dwarfcraft from Slingshot, and then I brought out a surfboard. This is the Solaritus 5.8 for 2016, just to kind of compare stance on a surfboard versus stance on a hydrofoil. The strap holes, you have a center line strap hole all the way to the back, rear strap goes here, front strap goes here, and then you have jibe straps here and here. The holes in the board provide a great reference of where to put your feet when you're strapless. So something I want to speak about quick is most American-made hydrofoil boards have a sliding track in the back. So this slide allows the base of the hydrofoil to slide rear and aft, just like this. And then there's a gauge on many of them to tell you where it's placed. This is kind of a tough one. You want to talk to, like when you buy your hydrofoil from us, just ask and we can tell you exactly where the best place to put this for a free ride, race, freestyle, whatever kind of riding you're doing. We'll tell you right where to put it to begin with. Measurements are made from the back of the base plate. So like number 4 would be right here. So as long as you can get advice on where to put that mast on your board, then using the strap holes as a reference for going strapless is a really good idea. If you're just hooking that up randomly, your feet will be either too or farther forward or farther back, depending on where you're putting the base plate relative to the track. So when you're riding strapless, you want to keep your feet right in the center line, just like when you're strapped. If you have your foot like this or like this, that hydrofoil board is going to have a lot of purchase on you. It's going to have a lot of torque, a lot of leverage, right? Same thing here. So keep them right in the middle. It's tough, so a lot of times I'll kind of start here and then move my foot forward, you know, kind of like this maneuver, get it up to where it needs to be, and then go for broke. We'll start with feet right in the middle, center of effort right through the center of your feet. Easy to keep your balance forward and aft like this. Eventually you can go to the jibe straps here, which are for jibing your feet like that, you know, making it easier. But to start with, tandem straps are for sure the easiest. So some of the differences between boards, just real quick. The Alien Air has the most displacement, real fat, right? Pointed nose, curved up nose to hit that chop. There's a chined rail here for when you're really edging over, trying to get upwind. The Rocket Fish is a little flatter, still has a nose that goes up there in the front to avoid the chop. Flat rails and everything else, but it's a less expensive board. Still has the track in the back and fins so you can ride it without a foil. The Alien Air and the Dwarfcraft do not have fins. And then the Dwarfcraft's just a smaller profile, less volume, super duper chined rails, narrower, about the same length as the Alien Air. And then the slide, obviously no fins, so it's purely a hydrofoil board, which is what you want. So that's kind of it on that. Here we have the surfboard. So if I line up these strap holes like that, the middle of this strap is here, the middle of this strap is here. You can see how much tail this has on it. So visually, when you're riding your surfboard, it doesn't look like this. It looks like your feet are farther forward. Well, that's true because most of the area or displacement on the surfboard is up front, so you actually want to shift your feet forward, which is where those straps are. On a hydrofoil board, you're actually farther to the back. But like I said, a no-brainer is just to use those bolt holes for strapless riding, and that should help a lot. Okay, so here's an example of how to get up and get going as far as foot placement and kind of where my weight is, or stance on the board when I get going. My knees are bent, my feet are center lined. I have them lined up in those bolt holes just like we talked about. When I get up, I'm actually forward on the board. So I'm going to rotate up just like a twin tip, then I'm going to lean forward. By leaning forward, I don't mean leaning forward all the way. The visual I use is my head over my front foot, and you can see it right here. Head over the front foot. If your head's over your front foot, you're not going to get up on a foil. You just won't. Riding along, board slap in the water. When I want to get up, I just move my head back a little bit and then forward again over my front foot. When you're riding, your head's actually, depends on your speed obviously, but your head's pretty far forward. So everybody does this maneuver. They lean way too far back and then they porpoise out. What you want to do, mostly forward, back a little bit, and then forward again. And that's going to keep that foil level so you can actually ride it. If you get used to doing this, you'll be in good shape.
Hi, I'm Chris Summers with Houston Kiteboarding. Today I'm going to talk to you about imaginary box while foil boarding. Basically, the main idea here is that when riding the foil, we need to be in position directly over the board. As Phil talked about earlier today, he showed you some different stances. Now what I'm going to do is I want to draw an imaginary box around my area so that way I can stay inside this thing. So as I'm riding here, the main position I'm going to be is with my front and back foot like this. Now, what a lot of people want to tend to do is they want to tend to lean back, just like if I was riding a twin tip or even say a surfboard. They want to get their body out away from the kite and over the edge of the board. In foil boarding, we do not want to do this. This is very, very bad technique. So what you want to do is actually line your center of your body up and down right over the board. So this right here is an imaginary line. My body cannot go over this side of it. And this behind my heels is my other imaginary line. My back cannot go out past that point. So when I'm foiling, I want to take a stance like so, head over front foot, front leg bent, and you'll see that my back leg's straighter, helping me stay over the top of the foil. When I'm ready to move up on top of the board, or on top of the foil, I'll slightly move back just a little bit, so that way I'm still inside my imaginary box. When I'm powered up and say I'm going to turn away from the kite to get a little bit more pressure, again, I'm going to actually crouch down lower, getting lower inside my box to give me more stability. And then when I'm starting to edge away, you'll actually find the entire board actually tilts with you, but again, you're still inside this box, okay? But again, when people start trying to think about edging away, their bodies quickly go into this position. Don't do that. Stay in here and just simply put a little bit of pressure on your backside, and then the foil will actually rotate with you, putting you up on an edge.